This is why narcissists eventually self-destruct. Everyone. The tragic flaws of narcissists eventually lead them to destroy themselves. Why? Given their sense of entitlement and need to exert control, narcissists have no problem crossing the line when it comes to how others treat them. To kick things off, I'd want to make a claim that many narcissists would find offensive. These troublemakers have only ever known success in their life, and yet they're living a losing life. Narcissists are likely to be perplexed if you tell them their entire existence hinges on defeat. Narcissists think highly of themselves and consider it a service to society when they dictate how others should live. Since they can't see their own negativity, they think the world would be a better place if everyone shared their views. Because of this, they tend to attract negativity into their relationships and often bring out the worst in individuals they interact with. They justify their sense of superiority, entitlement, control, invalidation, and defensiveness as natural and appropriate, and blame anyone who challenges them for misreading them. It's crucial to keep in mind that narcissists are perpetually on the defensive. The more you understand this idea, the more prepared you will be to handle any interactions with them. Typical narcissists have a severe phobia of being seen for who they really are, so they fabricate an identity, constructing a foundation of lies upon which their entire existence will finally collapse. Always keep in mind that narcissists are dishonest, even with themselves, about who they really are. When this happens, they get defensive and start yelling and arguing and blaming other people for their problems. They are emotionally incapable of having honest conversations, preferring to engage in argumentative or passive-aggressive conduct instead. They consider themselves exceptional, hence they need not conform to the standards of society. Because of this, they are unable to engage in deep dialogue with others or have a true grasp of who they are. Instead, they'd force their values and views on others without considering alternative points of view. Their own self-interested values will eventually lead to their downfall, and that is a certainty. A narcissist's trajectory toward ruin can be traced back to a number of telltale signs or actions. The first red flag would be an attack on your life. The goal of a narcissist is to make you look stupid and to pin the responsibility for their problems on you. However, this leads them to improperly manage conflicts and irrationally make choices, as they are unable to see the bigger picture of how people are connected. They might dismiss your opinion as irrelevant if it contradicts their own. They insist they are the only ones capable of making sound judgments, ignoring the possibility that your viewpoint could help them. There's absolutely no space for debate. The need to constantly place blame on others is another telltale sign of a self-destructive narcissist. They ruin your life, discredit you, and make you feel like garbage. This is another indicator that they are headed toward their own demise. I don't exaggerate when I suggest that a lot of things will happen. Do you picture a narcissist as someone who brags, "I'm the best there is"? Things didn't go as planned, that much is clear. Examining my position is essential? No way. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions and improving, they turn the blame back on you. Consequently, they keep recycling the same dysfunctional patterns that are harmful to their development as a couple. They try to force you to conform to their ideal of how you should think, act, respond, and form opinions on all topics, which is another sign that they are headed down a harmful path. That attitude is, essentially, yeah, everything has to be my way. They completely discount the existence of other characters, viewpoints, and points of view. That's irrelevant and superfluous in their eyes. They believe that the only way you can learn to accept each other, despite your differences, is if they insult you and try to change who you are deep down within. If the narcissist is successful in making you feel bad about yourself, you'll conclude, wow, I need the narcissist to save me from my own terrible self. That's the way they reason. The recipe for a healthy life doesn't include that. Refusing to admit, I need help, or you make sense, is another red flag that they are headed down a dangerous path. That would imply that they had resources beyond only their superiority, which they obviously don't want to imply. It's clear they have trouble regarding you as a peer. They are only interested in you as long as you can satisfy their narcissistic needs. They are self-destructive because they can't see beyond the present. They aren't thinking about the long-term consequences of their current behavior. I've seen many people get themselves into trouble due to things like substance abuse, extramarital affairs, bad financial planning, and rude behavior toward others, and eventually, those problems have to be dealt with. They are self-centered, focusing only on their immediate demands and needs while dismissing any potential negative outcomes. Instead of accepting responsibility for their actions, they are quick to place the blame on others. Substance abuse, relationships with others, the need for approval, the pursuit of wealth, or the need for recognition and admiration from others are all addictions that contribute to their demise. Their dependence on authoritarianism is also telling. They like dominance games but are oblivious to the fact that other individuals resent being bullied or treated rudely. The self-destructive narcissist is certain that their way is the only way, and as a result, they are quick to offer uninformed commentary. They struggle with critical thinking and may try to avoid responsibility by engaging in mindless behaviors like staring at a screen. They are completely oblivious to the consequences of their behavior. This illustrates their incapacity for social interaction and their need for obedience to authority. Their inability to harmonize and their arrogance both contribute to their demise, but they can't see this connection between the two. Avoiding damaging responses is crucial if you want to avoid sliding into a self-destructive routine in response to a narcissist. Your chances of falling into the trap established by the self-destructive narcissist increase as you dwell on and intensify negative feelings like hate, rage, disdain, and bitterness. Keeping your distance and making it clear that you won't be going down that road with that individual is the best way to deal with their harmful conduct. If the narcissist were honest, they would admit that their outward persona is really a mask for their true feelings of worthlessness. They'd be the first to acknowledge they've never learned to manage relationships rationally and instead spent their time moaning and groaning instead of bettering themselves. But since they won't own up to it, know that the narcissist's damage is all on them and they'll have to deal with the fallout on their own. Meanwhile, work on becoming a more well-rounded individual who embodies the values of love, peace, and justice. Rather than trying to improve upon the destructive narcissist, the goal should be to perfect oneself.
Before we end today's video, let's summarize a little. Narcissists have an inflated feeling of self-importance and believe others owe them something. In many cases, however, these characteristics also lead to their own destruction. Someone who presents an air of superiority and omnipotence may in reality be hiding a fragile ego and a crippling threat of being exposed. They destroy themselves because they have to control everything and everyone around them. Narcissists have a poor ability to take constructive feedback. They think only they are capable of good judgment, therefore they disregard everyone who disagrees with them. They use deceit and coercion to impose their ideals on others, and they refuse to acknowledge the validity of others' points of view. Due to their inability to look outside of themselves, they will fail. Narcissists tend to destroy relationships and attribute problems to others. They are unable to communicate openly and often resort to arguments or passive hostile conduct instead. They destroy themselves through this repeated cycle of action. Substance misuse, a desire for acceptance, and a fixation on material success are all contributing factors to their downfall. Their failure to take ownership of their conduct and carelessness with regard to the future are common causes of their detrimental patterns of behavior. Well, I hope you find this video informative, and thank you for watching this video.